In a galaxy where water was the ultimate poison, humans thrived in its embrace. When Deneb, a Galactic Council xenobiologist, discovered an Earth-like planet teeming with human life in the midst of water-rich environments, it defied everything the Council knew about the universe. Water, the scourge that had wiped out countless alien civilizations, seemed to have no effect on these strange beings. Deneb raced back to the Council with incontrovertible evidence of humanity's water immunity, sparking a firestorm of debate among the representatives of a myriad of alien races. Some called for the immediate quarantine or elimination of humans, fearing their biological anomaly could upset the delicate balance of power in the galaxy. Others insisted on studying them, eager to unravel the secrets of their unique physiology. Amid the chaos, human ambassador Jack Baker stepped forward, confirming his species' ability to not only drink and bathe in water, but even breathe it without harm. Sensing an opportunity, he offered the Council a deal. In exchange for sharing the secret of their water immunity, humans would be granted equal status and a seat on the Council. As Baker coordinated the selection of human representatives to be brought to the Council's space station for further study, he couldn't shake the feeling that some members had ulterior motives. Unbeknownst to him, a clandestine group within the Council was already hatching a plan to secure humanity's biological secret at any cost, even if it meant sacrificing the fragile peace that had held the galaxy together for centuries. As the human delegation stepped off their shuttle onto the gleaming floor of the Galactic Council space station, Ambassador Jack Baker couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. They were making history, the first humans to set foot on this marvel of alien engineering, but the stakes couldn't be higher. The future of their species, and perhaps the galaxy itself, hung in the balance. Deneb, the Arcturian xenobiologist who had first discovered the humans' planet, greeted them with a toothy grin that stretched across his angular blue face. "Welcome, Ambassador Baker and esteemed guests, to the heart of the Galactic Council. We have much to discuss." Next to Deneb stood Zephyr, a statuesque Arcturian with piercing violet eyes and an air of authority. "Indeed we do," she said, her gaze lingering on the humans. "Your ability to thrive in water is remarkable. It could hold the key to my people's survival." Ambassador Baker exchanged a glance with Dr. Lyra Vega, the brilliant geneticist on his team. They had expected interest in their biology, but Zephyr's intensity was unsettling. Over the next several days, the humans underwent a battery of tests and experiments, all designed to unravel the mystery of their water immunity. Dr. Vega worked closely with the Council's scientists, her brow furrowed in concentration as she analyzed the data streaming across the holoscreens. "This is incredible," she breathed, pointing to a glowing schematic of a human cell. "We have an organelle, previously unknown, that neutralizes water's toxicity at a molecular level. It's like nothing I've ever seen." The scientific community was abuzz with excitement, but behind closed doors, the political winds were shifting. Ambassador Baker paced the length of his quarters, his heart made. "I don't like it," he muttered to Dr. Vega. "Some of these council members, especially that General Zek, seem to view us as a threat. They want to put us under strict containment, whatever that means." Dr. Vega nodded, her eyes troubled. "And did you see the way Zephyr was looking at us? Like we were some sort of prize to be won." Their fears were confirmed when a covert team of Arcturian operatives infiltrated the humans' living quarters in the dead of night. The human security team managed to thwart the attempt to steal biological samples, but the damage was done. Trust had been shattered. Protests erupted across the galaxy as news of the incident spread. Some called for the Council to take the humans' secret by force, while others demanded diplomacy. The Council itself was splintering, with accusations flying on all sides. In the midst of the chaos, a coded message arrived from Earth. Dr. Hayden Clark, Dr. Vega's former colleague and ex-lover, had uncovered a conspiracy within the Council to weaponize the humans' water immunity. He urgently requested a meeting on a neutral planet, warning that the fate of both their civilizations was at stake. Ambassador Baker made the decision in an instant. They had to get off this station, away from the Council's machinations. With Deneb and Dr. Vega in tow, the human delegation slipped away undetected, their shuttle streaking towards the rendezvous point. As the stars blurred past the viewport, Ambassador Baker clenched his fists, his mind racing. They were plunging headlong into a maelstrom of galactic politics and ancient animosities, with no idea who they could trust. But one thing was certain: the future of humanity, and perhaps the galaxy itself, would be decided in the days to come. The shuttle touched down on the barren surface of the rendezvous planet, kicking up a cloud of reddish dust. Ambassador Baker squinted through the viewport, scanning the desolate landscape for any sign of Dr. Clark. There, Dr. Vega pointed to a lone figure emerging from behind a rocky outcropping. As they disembarked, the air hit them like a furnace. Deneb's blue skin immediately darkened, adapting to the harsh conditions. Dr. Clark approached, his face etched with worry. "Jack, Lyra, thank God you made it. We don't have much time." He led them to a concealed cave entrance, where they met Thalia, the Kragoran defector. Her scaled skin glistened in the dim light as she eyed the group warily. "What you're about to hear will change everything," Clark said, activating a holoprojector. Images flickered to life, showing General Zek and his inner circle discussing their plans in hushed tones. Thalia's voice provided context, explaining the faction's goal to weaponize the human water immunity gene. Baker's fists clenched as he watched. "This is worse than we imagined." Thalia nodded grimly. "They've already begun experimenting on stolen human samples. The weapon is nearly complete." Dr. Vega's eyes widened. "If they succeed, they'll control the galaxy's water supply. Billions will die." Baker paced the cave, mind racing. "We need to stop them. Now. Where's this research facility?" Thalia projected a 3D map of a heavily fortified Kragoran base. "Here, but it's impenetrable." "Nothing's impenetrable," Baker said, studying the layout. "We'll split into two teams. Lyra, Thalia, and I will infiltrate the facility. Deneb and Clark, you gather more evidence and rally council support." As they finalized their plan, a distant explosion rocked the cave. Dust and pebbles rained down. "They found us," Thalia hissed. They burst from the cave to find a squad of Kragoran soldiers advancing, plasma rifles blazing. Baker and his team dove for cover behind a cluster of boulders. "So much for the element of surprise," Dr. Vega muttered, returning fire with her sidearm. The air crackled with energy blasts as they fought their way to the shuttle. Deneb's tentacles whipped out, disarming two soldiers in quick succession. "Go!" Baker shouted to Clark and Deneb as they reached the ship. "We'll find another way to the facility." The shuttle lifted off, leaving Baker, Vega, and Thalia to face the onslaught. They retreated to an abandoned outpost, barely managing to seal the blast doors before the Kragoran forces overwhelmed them. Inside, they caught their breath, the gravity of their situation sinking in. "They knew we were coming," Thalia said, her scales rippling with agitation. "Someone must have warned them." Baker's communicator crackled to life. A familiar voice spoke. "Ambassador Baker, I believe you require assistance." "Zephyr?" Baker exchanged a surprised look with Dr. Vega. "Why should we trust you?" "Because, Ambassador, we now share a common enemy. General Zek's actions threaten us all. I can provide you with the means to stop him, if you're willing to accept my help." Baker hesitated, weighing their options. The sounds of Kragoran weapons battering the outpost's defenses echoed through the corridors. "What do you say, Jack?" Dr. Vega asked, her hand on his arm. "Do we have a choice?" Baker took a deep breath and activated his comm. "All right, Zephyr, we're listening." Baker's comm crackled with static as Zephyr's voice came through. "Ambassador, I'm transmitting coordinates for a secure rendezvous point. My forces will extract you and provide support for our next move." Exchanging quick glances with Dr. Vega and Thalia, Baker nodded. "Understood. We're on our way." The trio slipped out of the outpost through a hidden maintenance tunnel, emerging into the planet's harsh landscape. They sprinted across the rocky terrain, plasma bolts from pursuing Kragoran soldiers sizzling past their heads. A sleek Arcturian shuttle swooped down, its silver hull gleaming in the alien sun. The loading ramp descended, revealing Zephyr herself flanked by heavily armed guards. "Quickly!" she called, her violet eyes scanning the horizon. Once aboard, the shuttle rocketed into the upper atmosphere. Baker steadied himself against a bulkhead as the ship shuddered from evasive maneuvers. Zafir's lips tightened into a grim line. General Zek's forces are more widespread than we anticipated. We must act swiftly. In the shuttle's command center, holographic displays flickered to life, showcasing the massive Kragoran research facility. Zafir outlined their two-pronged assault plan, her voice tight with urgency. My fleet will engage their orbital defenses, creating a window for your strike team to infiltrate, she explained, gesturing to the facility's schematics. Ambassador Baker, you'll lead the ground assault. Dr. Vega, your expertise will be crucial in neutralizing their research. Baker studied the holographic layout, his mind racing through tactical scenarios. And what about the captive humans? Zafir's eyes narrowed. Intel suggests they're being held in the lower levels. You'll need to move fast. We can't maintain the orbital assault indefinitely. As the Arcturian fleet emerged from hyperspace, alarms blared throughout the Kragoran facility. The sky ignited with plasma fire as Zafir's ships unleashed their devastating barrage. Baker's strike team plummeted through the atmosphere in stealth drop pods, the facility's smoldering defensive emplacements growing larger by the second. They hit the ground running, plasma rifles at the ready. Move! Move! Baker shouted, leading the charge towards a breached security checkpoint. Inside, chaos reigned. Kragoran soldiers scrambled to mount a defense, caught off guard by the speed of the assault. Baker's team fought their way through winding corridors, the air thick with ionized particles and the acrid smell of burning circuitry. Dr. Vega accessed a nearby terminal, her fingers flying across the alien interface. Jack, I've located the holding cells, 2 levels down, east wing. They fought their way to the prisoner block, where they found rows of transparent chambers filled with water. Inside, human captives floated unconscious, connected to a maze of tubes and wires. My God, Dr. Vega whispered, horrified at the sight. As they worked to free the prisoners, a squad of elite Kragoran guards led by Agent Zira burst into the room. A furious firefight erupted, forcing Baker to take cover behind an overturned examination table. Fall back to the data vault, Zira shouted to her troops. We can't let them destroy the research. Baker's comm crackled. Ambassador, Zafir's voice came through, strained. Our orbital assault is faltering. You need to secure that data immediately. With rescued prisoners in tow, Baker's team fought their way to the central data vault. They arrived just in time to see Zira frantically trying to download the gene research onto a portable drive. It's over, Zira, Baker said, his rifle trained on the Kragoran agent. A tense standoff ensued, broken by the facility's computer announcing, Download complete, initiating emergency data purge. Zira's eyes widened in shock as the vault's holoscreens went dark, the invaluable research evaporating into nothingness. But their victory was short-lived. General Zek's face appeared on the main view screen, his expression a mask of cold fury. You may have destroyed the data, he snarled, but you've only delayed the inevitable. The camera panned to reveal a massive device pulsing with ominous energy. Behold the fruit of our labor, a weapon capable of rendering entire worlds uninhabitable through water toxification. Baker's blood ran cold as he realized the true scope of Zek's plan. Surrender now, the general demanded, or watch as I unleash this power across the galaxy. As Zek's ultimatum hung in the air, Baker's comm chirped. It was Deneb, his voice urgent. Ambassador, you need to get back to the council station immediately. The situation here is spiraling out of control. Baker furrowed his eyebrows, caught between the immediate threat of Zek's bioweapon and the looming crisis at the heart of galactic politics. With time running out, he knew the next few moments would shape the fate of humanity and the entire galaxy. Baker's mind raced, torn between Zek's bioweapon threat and Deneb's urgent summons. He made his decision in a heartbeat. Zafir, we need immediate extraction to the council station, Baker ordered, his voice tight with urgency. The Arcturian leader nodded grimly. My ships will provide cover. Go. As Baker's team rushed to their shuttle, plasma fire erupted around them. Zira and her Kragoran soldiers pursued relentlessly, But Zaphir's fleet unleashed a devastating barrage, buying them precious seconds. The shuttle rocketed into orbit, engines straining as it punched through the atmosphere. Dr. Vega gripped her seat, squeezing hard. "Jack, what's happening at the station?" Before Baker could respond, the shuttle lurched violently. A Kragaran cruiser had broken through Zaphir's blockade, its weapons locked on their position. "Evasive maneuvers!" Baker shouted to the pilot. The shuttle weaved through a hail of plasma bolts, the hull groaning under the strain. A blinding flash erupted as one of Zaphir's destroyers intercepted the Kragaran vessel, buying them a clear path to the Council station looming ahead. As they approached, Baker's blood ran cold. The station's docking bays were in chaos, with ships frantically trying to depart amidst a storm of weapons fire. Their comm crackled to life. "Ambassador Baker, this is Maxwell Yates. We're under attack. Kragaran infiltrators." The transmission cut off abruptly. Baker exchanged a grim look with Dr. Vega as their shuttle touched down in a secure bay. The moment they disembarked, alarms blared throughout the station. Security forces rushed past, weapons drawn. Baker grabbed a passing officer. "Report!" "Sir, we have multiple hostiles. They've released some kind of toxin in the lower levels. We're trying to contain—" A distant explosion rocked the station. Panic erupted as diplomats and civilians fled in all directions. "We need to get to the council chambers," Baker ordered, drawing his sidearm. "Move!" They fought their way through corridors choked with acrid smoke and terrified aliens. As they neared the chambers, a chilling sight stopped them in their tracks. Writhing bodies littered the floor, their forms twisted and warped by some unseen force. Dr. Vega knelt beside a fallen Arcturian, her eyes widening in horror. "Jack, this is it. Zek's bioweapon." A gurgling scream echoed from around the corner. Baker steeled himself, knowing the nightmare had only just begun.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.